What is a modern brand?
What is a modern brand? The brand that actually
Yes.
sticks in your mind the one time you look at it and it never leaves your mind.
What is going on, L&M family? Back at you again. And this time I've got like a wizard of data led marketing, friend, colleague, just amazing human being that I came into contact with. And now I get to spend even more time with. Mr. Mohit Bhagchandani is here and he's going to school us on engineering performance for modern brands. And so, if you're out there, you got your own business, you're thinking about a business, you're interested in marketing and brands, Mr. Mohit, he's got the details, he's got the juice for us. He's the founder, owner, operator, magician behind Adeptimize, and they simplify decision making and execute with creative intelligence. And I'm going to tell you, I get to work with them and I'm having an amazing experience so far. And so I'm going to brag on him a little bit. Let's see if we can make him blush. But before that, if this is your first time here, you are listening to the Learnings and Missteps podcast, where you get to see amazing human beings just like you, how they are sharing their gifts and talents to leave this world better than they found it. I am Jesse, your selfish servant, and we are about to get to know Mr. Mohit. Mr. Mohit, how you doing,
I'm
sir?
doing really good. How are you doing?
Oh man, I was a little frazzled. I messaged you before our scheduled time because I'm in St. Louis today and I was doing some trainings. Super, super awesome. But we went a little over with some Q&A at the end. There was a lot of really interesting dialogue. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be late. I hope Mohit doesn't fire
No, no,
me.
that's never
But
gonna
we made
happen.
it.
How is St. Louis, by the way, today?
Oh my goodness. The weather out here is amazing. It's about 10, 15 degrees cooler here than it is in San Antonio. And today it's like bright, clear sky, like no cloudy. It's beautiful.
Nice,
So
nice.
it's been pretty awesome today. And then I'm flying back home later on tonight. So I only got to stay here for a little bit. And so I got a super simple question for you, Mohit. You
Go
ready?
ahead.
What is a modern brand?
What is a modern brand? The brand that actually
Yes.
sticks in your mind the one time you look at it and it never leaves your mind. That is your modern brand. But
Ooh.
the magic that happens behind the brand, that is something you never notice because you only notice it one time, but they are putting so much effort so that you can keep noticing it again and again, no matter where you look, on what screen you look, and everywhere they will make sure that they get your attention. That is your brand.
Okay. So, there's maybe it's just me and the stuff that I decide to consume on YouTube. And there's a lot of talk about personal brand. And I know before when I used to think about brand, I would think about like the name of the company or the name of the product. And so I'm wondering, do you have any guidelines for people that are in this space of professional development, entrepreneurship, branding? Do you have any guidelines for them to think about? Should they think about it all as one thing? Or are there different lanes for them to think about the brand idea?
See, it goes in a very different way for different people. I mean, the idea of a
Ah,
brand comes from like goodwill, basically. Back in the days, goodwill used to come from people's names. If you think of Ford nowadays, it came from Henry Ford, and it was a family name. It was a goodwill that man created as a legacy for his
yes.
future. And that is how you the personal brand and the company brand used to work back in the days. But in the modern time, people started creating a separate identity for the company and separate identity for the person. And I'm still in favor of it because at the end of the day, the company should have their own its own essence, its own presence in people's mind. But my mentality is there is always one person who is pushing that company forward, and their personal brand matters a lot. Think of Tesla, and the first name comes to you
Mm.
is obviously the big guy, the
Yeah,
Elon Musk.
yeah, yeah.
And fun fact, just like 1 second, I lost my mind. Give me 1 second. I was gonna say 1 second. Yeah, fun fact about him. He has five different brands. And still, whenever you
Ah,
listen to those brands, his name comes up first because he's the one who's pushing them. So if you like tomorrow, if you decide to launch a new brand or a new business, if you already have your own name in the market, it makes things easier for you to actually launch a new field, be the leader in
yeah.
that field. Because at the end of the day, businesses can come and go, but your name has to survive, you know? As long as you survive.
Mohit, that right there, what you just said is freaking powerful. Businesses come and go, but your name is what will survive. And it's like the, how should I say it? The bells and whistles that people attach to our name, right? What is it that people recognize about me or remember about me? That's going to stick.
So that is the
And it goes,
that
yeah.
is the exact idea which people started implementing on the businesses, because people can also come and go, but your company should have an individual identity and an individual brand, so that your legacy can also keep continuing after you go away. So
Mm,
that's why keeping those two separate but working on them together at the same time is very important. That's what I believe in. If you're working on just one
yes.
thing and not focusing on the other thing, that's something I am kind of skeptical about, because your company can stand, but you will not be able to stand for a long time, or vice versa. So you should be prepared for both at the same time.
Yeah, I have a lot of these conversations with folks, and it's because I learned it after the fact, right? After I decided to that I was going to start a business, then I started getting active on social media.
Yep.
Now, the value that I've gotten out of being visible and helping people understand what they're going to get from me and what I have to offer has been like profoundly valuable, exceeded what I ever could have estimated. Now, my takeaway is kind of like to the point that you made about the business and the person. I had about 20 years where I had like a real job and I was not visible. I had no brand. Or when I left the company, my brand ended
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And so I went to another company and I had to build another brand. I didn't think of it this way, but now I do. Now that I'm visible and active on social media, that brand follows me. I mean, hell, in today's training, there was a couple like, "Hey, man, you do the TikToks where you're walking and talking." I'm like, yeah, man, I like it. That's my brand from their perspective. And the takeaway for me is I could have been doing that back before I started my business with every company, and then that thing would have carried forward with or without the company I was working with. What do you think about that? Is that something people should take into account even if they don't want to start a business?
That's a very good topic, to be honest, because the more I think about it, the more I realize that people actually miss. And the frustrating part about it is no one actually understands this to the core. I'll give you an example. My own father, he has run his whole life distribution channels for your home appliances and electronics. Now, in his market, everyone does not remember the brands that he's trying to sell, but his own name. Like, they will always
Mm.
remember his name, but not the brand he's selling. And I keep going to him like, Dad, we should start our own brand. We should have our own supply chain and we should sell our own stuff. And he's like, no, I don't care. I'm just gonna do this and I'm very happy about it. So, yeah, people don't understand it, but I know for a fact that the day he started his own brand, just because of his name, people will buy stuff from him. and that brand is going to stick even after he is retired and done with businesses.
Yes, yes. Oh,
People
I
need
love
to
it. So
understand how important the personal branding is. And for example, in your case, I'm pretty sure when you were working back in the day where you spent 20 years of your life, people who you worked with, they still remember you by your name of whatever you contributed towards their life or their businesses. That is not something you can take away from them, and that's something you need to keep towards yourself as well. Yeah.
yes, I was not as intentional um, back then as I am now. And I think about it, the advice I would get is people are going to remember you, your reputation. And so the easy way for me to make sense of it is like my reputation is my brand. I want to give a shout out to our L&M family member, Mr. Crackpack from TikTok. I don't know his name, but that's his handle. He says, you should definitely have more follows and views. You have nothing but powerful knowledge to give. Make a book or start a podcast. Well, my brother, I got a podcast and I do have a
Yeah.
book, but I
Yeah.
appreciate the support. And folks out there, you already know if you take the time to make a comment, leave me a message, do a review, or share the episode with your friends, it means a ton to me because sometimes I wonder is anybody except for me and Mohit listening to this conversation? And it gives me an opportunity to shout you out in the future.
Yep.
Right
Yep.
now it's a little different because it's a little more tailored, or what's the word,
Polished.
like designed for a particular reason in terms of what I want people like I'm intentional about what I want them to know about me. That doesn't mean I'm hiding things from them. It's just that I like, oh, I need them to know that I do training. I need them to know that I have this online product. And so I've got to be intentional about informing people of what I can provide for them or how I can serve them. And I think it's just a little twist of what any individual can do, whether they want to start a business or not, is they can be intentional about letting people know where they stand, what they stand for, and what how they can serve. Now, obviously, you've got a ton of experience and insight about brand. Like, did you just know that when you were in middle school, 12 years old, Mohit, did you say, okay, I know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do branding and media. Was that an automatic? Did the family say, this is what you need to do? How did that happen?
I come from a really strong, hard entrepreneurial background. My father was an entrepreneur, his father was an entrepreneur, and we are big minorities on this planet. We are Sindhis. I don't know if you have heard of Sindhis. We are like Kurdish people, if you have heard of Kurdish people or Punjabis. We are a very huge minorities, and we are really famous for our entrepreneurial background and our really strong business. So it it
Okay.
was kind of in my genes. It was kind of in my blood to understand how the business works. I mean, I used to see my father ever since I was a child working his ass off, like really hard. All the
Yes. Yeah.
family is working every time when the season is at its peak. There used to be a war happening at my place. Yeah, the stuff needs to go out. We need to finish the sales pipeline, and we need to make the max amount of sales. That used to be like my childhood. And yeah, I
Wow.
wanted to pursue science. I wanted to pursue physics. I wanted to be a pilot or maybe an engineer or an architect, something like that. Because again, I'm an Indian person. We are famous for that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
the more I started focusing on the things that I was good at, the more I realized that I was actually born for doing marketing. And
Mm.
then I started pursuing my degree. I did my degree in journalism, media, and business
Ah.
strategy. Again, those things are specific to what I do today. When I
Yes.
started doing jobs, I was working with agencies that were mostly doing marketing for North American companies. And I had the best opportunity to work with one of the best white label organizations of Florida. The environment was so unique. The journey was amazing because, see, especially when you're growing in this field and you get to work with a lot of accounts at the same time, is when you start making mistakes and learning from them, because that's when you get a lot of opportunities to actually understand how marketing is working, what actually works
Yeah.
and what actually does not work. So coming from that background, it makes things easier for me to make judgments and decisions, because I learned from my mistakes, but more importantly, I learned from my parents, my father's and my grandfather's mistakes, and I try not to repeat them.
That's amazing. So you were already, y'all were like, you were a kid and you understood, okay, we got to make this many sales. So we got to have product. We got to get the message out there. We got to get leads. We got to get them to convert. That was just a normal,
Yeah, yeah.
just the way the family operated. So you had direct insight, and I'm sure they gave you work to do.
I know supply chain and logistics better than anyone who has a degree in supply chain and logistics.
Because you lived through, you had to manage
Yep.
it. Okay. Now, so you said business strategy and journalism.
Journalism, mass media.
I can kind of say, so journalism, how was that? What were some of the big rocks, the big lessons from the journalism stuff that you kind of use on the regular now in the marketing business that you're running?
So back in the day when I was doing my degree, we used to get a lot of training while we used to be going on sets of radio stations. We spent a lot of time learning the magazines and the newspapers back in the day. Because again, this was back into 2012, no, 2011, I guess. Yeah, 2011, when I
Ah,
was learning all this. And back in the day, there was digital media, there was obviously websites, but that live media was the main thing that was happening. There was no social media. I mean, there was,
right.
but it was not that important. People used to use Facebook just to meet people and make friends. So when I started indulging myself in all those things, like for example, I used to go to the radio stations and I used to see how people are promoting things, how the ads work, how you need to follow a specific form in a way you can promote something without looking like you're trying to oversell stuff. So
Ah,
today, if I'm sitting with someone, if I have to do their pre and post production for podcasts, if I have to manage all that kind of experience comes in, because it's kind of similar, and the model is similar, the strategy is similar, and you need to understand how to actually, like, how the whole pace works. The podcast always goes up, there's a
yeah,
peak, and then it comes down at the end. So it's the peak is when you can focus the most, and most people don't even know about it when they end up doing their podcasts and
yeah.
their webinars or their live streams.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I can see that being involved in live media back then, which would have been TV and radio,
Yep.
now like social media, and I don't know. So maybe this is the question. I feel like, from my perspective, social media is the only way. And now, particularly for my business, right? That I have consulting, coaching business. I would never consider like TV or a radio ad. Now, because social media is accessible to everybody, do you think, what kind of impact do you think that has on people in terms of, are they like, is it over, are too many people trying to leverage it for their marketing and advertisement? What do you think about that?
See, If you want my really honest opinion, and just so you know, I study it on a regular basis.
Yep.
The newer generation, let's say the Gen Zs and the millennials, they have dropped their time spending on the feed. They spend more time on their
Ah.
stories. They spend more time in their inboxes rather than spending time on their feeds. Because that's the case with almost every kind of media, be it TV, be it radio, be it newspapers. After a point of time, if you're pushing too many ads and if you're trying to promote too much stuff on any of these platforms, it will dial down. The person's inclusion in like participating in your ads will go down, because people will understand that
Mm.
this is what is happening to them and they will try to move away from it. So now the real way to approach people, the real way to promote yourself, in my opinion, is less on the feeds, more on their messages, more on their stories.
Ah, got it. And so is that going out and directly connecting with the
Yeah.
individuals or running ads to stories?
See, you have to, this is something I tell to all of my clients, and this is something I have mentioned to you as well multiple times, that it is a combined approach. You have to understand, you have to be organic, and you have to think of performance marketing at the same time. You have to apply those, both of them together at the same time, because there are different levels. There is a whole funnel. You have to understand on what level you need to be organic and what level you have to be applying performance marketing, or maybe applying both at the same time, because you never know what works in what occasion. That's the kind of
Yes,
mix that we
yes.
need to look forward to. The organic will work, but it will work better with paid media, and the paid media by itself will never work properly. You have to be organic.
I was just going to ask you, so what if I just wanted to run ads, but you're like, no, that's
No,
not
no.
going to
It's,
work.
see, I'll be very honest with you. It will not work. Every business, every brand needs a person, it needs a face, and it needs people to push it forward. If you are thinking that you're sitting at your office and you're thinking that, yeah, maybe I should have a paid media campaign running and that's how I will get leads. Sure, you will get leads for some of the time. But once the price, the cost per lead will start increasing, is when you will realize that, yeah, you need to put more efforts into it. Because on your paid campaigns, you'll be getting reviews, you'll be getting comments, you'll be getting engagement. You have to engage with those comments. You have to respond to the people who bought services from you. If you're not getting the positive reviews, then it's not even worth it. Your business will go
I
down.
agree. I agree. Yeah. So I know, so you serve North America, obviously, because you and I are working together
Yeah.
and you're schooling me on all kinds of really good stuff. Now, do you find, how frequent do you find one of your customers, do they struggle more with organic content or ads? Which is the thing that, generally speaking, that they have the biggest trepidation or conflict around? Is it putting like ads, content for ads, or is it the organic content that they struggle with?
I would say the content in general is the biggest struggle, in my opinion. Because, see, I can run
Okay.
ads, I can create content for ads, and like I can use stock images, I can use stock videos, and I can be creative about it. And most of the time, I don't even need anything else from the client. But that is not what is going to make you stand apart from your competitor. No, your organic
Mm.
content is what's going to make you stand out. So 5 years back, people used to go to your influencers and get the content done from them, which was a easy shortcut. But nowadays, I personally believe that employee generated content, your customer generated content, your personal content, all that content matters for your organic and for your paid media. You don't believe me? You
Mm.
try it yourself. You will use your stock images and your stock videos. I'm pretty sure how much traction that's gonna generate. I have run like at a particular time, I used to run 500 campaigns, ad campaigns in my white label agency. So I know how this works. I can make AI generated content, and people will know that it is AI generated content. You still need people to make
Yes.
company feel more human. And if you're not doing it, you're missing out. You're missing out.
I'm sure that you know leaving this world better than you found it doesn't happen by accident. And I want to help you spend more time making this world better for yourself and the people you care about. So I want to invite you to the next Do the Damn Thing Time Mastery Workshop because we're going to be having some fun. We're going to be taking all those goals, those ideas, those projects, those dreams, the things that you keep putting off because of the commitment you make to work and the commitment you make to family and the commitment you make to everybody else except for yourself. When you get those out of your head and finally come up with a plan, make the space, find the time for you to make those things real, for you to actually get the ball moving on the things that are going to give more flavor and meaning to your own personal life. Check the show notes for the link. I hope to see you there. And back to the show. Yeah, no, I appreciate your patience and flexibility with me because I just post whatever.
In your case,
But I enjoy it,
In
right?
your case, I'm very happy working with you because you understand how important making content is, even for organic, even for paid. But I have worked with roofing companies. I will make the whole script for them that this guy will say this, that guy will say that, and you have to just do the hook. They will read it, they will find it funny, they will appreciate it, but I will never get that video. I will keep asking it for it
Really?
2 months, 3 months down the line. Where's the video? Can you guys give me the video? Nothing. If you look at websites, their websites are full with stock imagery. They'll be like, Mohit, this
Mm,
image does not look good to me. This does not look like an image from central part of America or the Florida part of America or the Texas part of America. And I'm like, if you don't
right.
like it, why are you making me use the stock imagery? Why can you not
Give
provide
me some.
images from your jobs? You're going to your jobs, you're doing your roofing, you're making really beautiful roofs out there. You just need to take a before shot
Yes.
and an after shot. That's all you need to do. They won't listen to me.
So, well, here, I'm going to get some extra points from you because I was doing training today
Okay.
and I said, you know what? I better take some pictures because if not, Mohit's going to get after me. And so I took a bunch of action pictures so that we can update the website, right? Because
Exactly.
I, I I want it to look like, I don't care if it looks messy.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to look fake.
Yeah. And
And
most people don't understand this. That is what marketing is. People think that marketing requires a lot of effort. It will not take a lot of time for you to, it will take just 2 seconds for you to take out your phone and just make that picture, click that picture. That's all I need. Because around 100 websites are out there using the same stock image, using the same video. You will see that video repeated on every website, like the format is getting repeated to the point where it gets boring. And like, I have
yes.
to beg the people to make them understand that, yeah, your content matters. If you will not focus on the creating something, you will be behind, and your competitor will take away your work. They will have your next
Mm.
client just because you are not active.
Ooh, Yeah. So there you go, L&M family. Take the picture. And here's the funny thing. This is super hypocritical of me because I hate taking pictures. Like, I don't mind people taking pictures of me. What I don't like is stopping to take a picture. But I just think of like now that we're building the website and working with you, we're, ads and all the other thing. I'm like, oh my God, I have decades worth of amazing pictures that I could have taken that I didn't. And so, L&M family member out there, take the pictures, save them because you might need them in the future. And to your point, like, you don't want to look like everybody else, but if you don't have the picture, it doesn't take that long. Take a dang picture of your work, of the group, of yourself in that environment, and you can use them in the future to separate yourself from the competition.
And you made a really good
Now,
point. Like, if you have taken a picture back in the day, like 40 years back, 30, 40 years, 50 years back, that picture is also relevant. That is still content. That also can be used for your website, your own personal posts on LinkedIn or any other social media platform you're on, you're very active on. You just don't realize it yet. You just need to open your old stash of pictures and try to find that diamond between those
yes.
stack of pictures. Back in the day, we used to have the albums. We used to go through for the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, open them up,
Yeah.
digitize them, and just use them for your socials.
Oh man, that's a good idea. So any
See,
photo albums, you can go through there
I
and
gave you a
pick
good idea
something.
right now.
Yes. Huh. Well, the only problem, Mohit, is I would have to call one of my ex-wives for the photo album. I don't know if I want to do that.
I mean, it's worth the
All
risk.
right. Yeah. I don't know, man. You don't know my exes. They're different over here in Texas.
Yep, yep. That I would
Especially if you're running ads, but even organic, right? There's engagement and all the things, which is super data. But there's got to be a creative element to it because it has a direct impact or there's a direct relationship between the data and the creativity. And so, how do you blend that? Because I feel like you do it extremely well. It's not lopsided one way or the other unless it needs to be. How do you think about that?
So, Jesse, again, this all comes from the experience of coming from a very business-oriented family. Back in the day, when people used to run their businesses, they used to focus more on the goodwill because they used to have repeated customers. And they used to know who
Mm,
their repeated customers were. And back in the day, they used to just remember the face or remember the name, make the contact list. Data and marketing kind of works exactly in the similar way even today in today's date. Nowadays we are saving up all the data of whatever customers that we get, and we try to reach out to their circle of people or the people who are actually kind of similar to them. It's exactly what used to happen back in the day, but on a really larger scale. when you start when you start collecting this data of whoever is interested in your services, who has participated in your services, the least you can do is at least retarget those people who are already interested in your
mm,
services, who have already bought from your services. Most people don't even do this very simple step. Like, it's the basic thing you can do because you have created your goodwill. People already like you. You just need to reach out to them again if they need anything else. Oh, you need this? Why not buy it from us? Why are you buying it from someone else? It's kind of like that. And the
yeah.
other part of data comes in where you need to find the patterns. If you can see that there are
Mm,
people who are already interested in your services, the people around them will also end up being interested in your services in their circles. Getting that data out, reaching out to them, that would create your new audience, and that would be a comparatively a warmer audience to convert to. Because see, reaching out to someone who's really blind about what they actually want and what they don't want, compared to reaching out to someone who you are kind of sure that they are also falling into the similar background, similar area, the people you have already sold to. It makes things easier for you to convince the other group of people.
Yeah.
That's where the
Yes.
data
Yes.
plays in. So you're retargeting, creating your new audience so that you can gain more sales from new audience. And thirdly, when you're speaking out, you're being out there, you're on your social media, you're just trying to inspire people. In your case, those people follow you, and they are also the ones that you are not focusing on and not retargeting towards if you have not sold to them. So that's something you need to keep in mind all the time, because you never know who ends up getting converted. It can be the owner, it can be the secretary of the owner, it can be the lowest employee in the organization, but if they got inspired and they recommended you to the higher level of people, it makes things easier for you, you know.
Yes. Yes. The way I think about social media, like all my outlets or all my accounts, is I want to accomplish two things with them. One is community, build a community, right? Attract people that are like minded and interact and just whatever that needs to be like. Do I want people to buy stuff? Sure. That's what happens if I'm showing up appropriately, right? Now, the other thing that may be a sub level to the commute, like building a community, is I want to make sure people know that I'm the kind of flavor that they want, or I'm not their flavor at all. Meaning, I say things a certain way, I talk about certain things from a certain perspective so that they can decide Jesse's a dummy. I don't want any more of his content, or I like what this dummy has to say. I want more of his content. That's how I think about it. So, which makes that I learned like that was just by default. That's just how I decided to do it, and it's working out. Rather, I'm enjoying it. Whether it's working, that could be argued because we could talk about, well, how many followers do you have? How much revenue you're bringing per follower? Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. I'm having fun doing it, so that's why I say it's working. Now, if I were to come to a Deptimize and say, Mohit, I don't have any social media accounts. I'm starting a business in a month, and I know I need marketing. What would you like? What are some pointers that you would give me or somebody that came to that situation? Like they have not been active on social media, they got a brand new product or service that they want to like, introduce to the market. Where do they start? And I'm asking because I've had a lot of conversation with a lot of people over the years, and they spend an enormous amount of time thinking about the service or the product and no time anywhere else. And I was kind of in the same boat. I think I just got lucky in the way things have worked out. So, what do you suggest if for somebody in that situation?
See, it specifically depends on the business, if I'm being very honest. Some businesses can
Okay.
thrive only on social media and they don't even need a website if they want. Okay.
Ooh.
Whereas, like most people will tell you on their like, yeah, website is important and all that. That is kind of what used to happen. But in the newer direction where things are going, it's kind of a mixed approach. I'm not saying websites are not important. Websites are still important if you're doing your regular businesses, like if you want to run your lifestyle brands, or if you want to like on your like you want to have your HVAC services or your plumbing services or your electricians, your roofers, your construction people, they still need the website to get the leads. But most of the other brands, like for example yourself, your business can mostly thrive on the social media itself, and the website is a very small part of it. The majority is occupied with the social media. It kind of depends on what business. So hypothetically, if I have to take a construction business or a roofing business or a electrician business, plumbing, HVAC, let's talk about
Yep.
those services. I would say let's start with the basics. Start with your website and your listings. Start with your business listings so that everyone locally knows that your name will come up, your BBB, your Google business profile, all those things, your yellow pages, all those things matter. They are still relevant because boomers are the one who are making those, buying those services, and they are still active on
Yes.
those platforms. They still want to just
Yes.
call the number and make it happen, basically. Most people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like the group of audiences that you're targeting, in that way, your focus towards the fields of marketing changes. So if it's the boomers, the
Yeah.
silent generation, you still have to focus on your business listings, your website, and everything. So, website and business listings, once they are done, once your business is properly active on BBB or Google Business Profile, then you can focus on creating your social media pages. Start with your Facebook, Instagram, and then your LinkedIn. These are the most important ones. If you want to be really social, like socially heavy, then you can add on to your TikTok and your YouTube, and you can start posting videos on it. The most important thing still in those businesses is the website, because you need to have a really good lead form. There should be clear explanation of what your business does, what services you do. You don't have to just copy whatever the other competitor is writing. Try to use your own words. Try to be original.
Mhm.
Try to post more organic content. And no, I'm not saying that just follow what everyone else says, find the keywords, write the content. No, write the relevant content, write the content that will help the person. If someone wants their pipe fixed and they are trying to search, how should I fix my pipe or my wiring or my roof? There should be a really simplistic, supportive blog that they can fall onto, which can be your blog, and you're helping them in that way. And in that way, you might end up gaining that customer as well.
Yeah.
So for those
Yeah.
businesses, the approach is different. For, let's say, lifestyle businesses, your clothing, your watches, everything lifestyle, your fancy
Yeah.
houses, your fancy cars, your cabins,
Shoes.
garages,
Yeah.
shoes,
Yeah.
social media. Without fail, social media is
Ah.
the priority in that case. You need to start creating content 3, 4 months before you can even think of focusing on the customer. The content in that case and
Yeah.
the brand in that case matters a lot. And then lastly, your personal services, as in, yeah, like for in your case, you are being a personal coach to the organizations. In your case, you are like heavy social media. Like in lifestyle cases, there's still like a lot of involvement of the website. You still have to make the list of items that you need to sell. You need to create a whole itinerary. You have to create a website which is itinerary heavy, like your Shopify platforms or your big commerce platforms. But in your personal branding cases, like where you're trying to sell yourself as a service, then you are 90% social. That's the threshold of social. So, my friend, what you are doing already is the best way to do it in your field. Just so you know.
I like it. Thank you. I got a 5-star review. Thank you, Mohit. I originally, this was about almost a year ago when I said, okay, I need to do something about marketing. So I'm gonna learn it and then I'm gonna do it. And this is for the L&M family member out there. So I decided to start learning about marketing. And what I discovered is it's such an enormous subject, right? Then I started, oh, wait a minute. So there's social media, there's direct marketing, there's lead generation, there's positioning,
As to
there's
there
messaging.
is go-to marketing strategies. There are a lot of pseudo effects that you need to understand how the psychology works of human beings. The type of content you're sending out, it should be structured in a way that you can actually grab the attention of someone who's actually looking at your content. Yeah.
Yes, email sequence. Like enormous. And all that to say that it was enough for me to say, it's going to take me too long to learn all of this, like to understand it in my head. And then I'm going to have to do it. And when I start doing it, I'm not going to do it well. So that's going to take another 2 or 3 or 5 years to get half decent at it before it has any impact on my business. And that's why I said I need professional help. And so I'm sharing that to the L&M family member out there who's like either operating a business or thinking about operating a business. Super, super recommend get some help, get some coaching, get with Mohit and Adeptimize, because I know like the value I'm getting out of it is, I'll say this way. I started tinkering around with ads on Meta ads for Facebook and Instagram because I have to have my hands in things. But oh my God, there's so much work. And I'm not even talking about like creating the creative, like the video or the image, setting up the damn ad and all that. It's an enormous amount of work. And there's amazing professionals out there that can help you. Now, Mohit, we've been talking a lot about construction. Do you, in terms of clientele or the types of businesses you like to serve, what's the sweet spot for you? Is it construction? Is it crazy psychopaths like me? Where does that land for you?
I have dealt with my fair share of industries, like huge list of industries. If I have to be very specific, I've worked from lifestyle brands to retail to tech. But yeah, my forte has been ending up most in the construction field because see, I've worked with other agencies that were very specific about construction as well, and that's how I ended up working with a lot of roofing companies at the same time. But on the other side, I've worked on marketing for rehabilitations, outpatient programs, law firms,
Oh, wow.
your electricians, HVACs, plumbings, paintings, landscaping, finance, mortgage. Yeah, mortgage and finance goes hand in hand. Your
Right, right.
repair shops, your doctors, dentists, oncologist, therapists, your
Wow.
restaurants, your prefab homes, your it's a long list now that I think of it.
A lot.
I mean,
That's
when I
amazing.
think of prefab homes, I'm thinking I've done sheds, garages, horse barns, cabins. Then, if I think of more personal level services, I've done staffing agencies. Yeah, staffing agencies I've done.
Mm,
Yeah, because I still have one or two clients that are just staffing agencies. And when it comes to
got it.
your home services, I might be missing one or two here and there. Pest control services, your artificial grass installation, your
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
demolition. I think so. We were talking about demolition just a few days ago, I guess.
Yes, yes.
Title escrow companies, your wealth management, retirement homes, sober living homes, insurance firms, pet care firms, e-commerce. How can I forget e-commerce?
Yeah. Wow. So I like everything, but just going all the way back to, you said it was in your DNA. You got to see the whole value stream of
Yeah.
business and understand the connectivity or the connecting lines through all of those things. You talked about supply chain. You understand the functionality and the value of that. And then within the marketing end is not just about generating a contact or a lead. It's the whole life cycle all the way to retargeting after they've bought. And you do that with any business. And so if somebody's, oh my God, I need this, that's a lot of stuff that I don't want to learn. Where do we send them? If they're like, you know what, I'm interested, I'm curious, I think Mr. Mohit and Adeptimize can help me. Where do we send them to get that help, Mohit?
Yeah, onto my LinkedIn and onto my website.
10 4. I'll make sure we have those links in the chat, folks, because at least connect with Mohit and follow him on LinkedIn because he puts out
The
some good
least
stuff,
you can do is connect
informative
on
stuff.
LinkedIn because I try to share most of my content for free of a lot of strategies that I
Yep.
apply on my regular basis, on day-to-day basis, on all my clients, even including Jesse.
Yeah. Yes, yes, I love it. All right. Well, are you ready for the Grand Slam home run question, Mr. Mohit?
I might not be, but I would say just throw it in my direction.
All right, it's coming at you. And I'm excited about the answer because really particularly stands out to me, Mohit, is two things. One is this thread of the service and the value you provide to other human beings now that really is your lifeline of how you lived and how you grew up. And it's just a part of who you are. And the second thing is, you and I have worked together and communicating with you. I always am treated with or feel like I'm getting immense respect from you, not just in terms of your ability to deeply listen, but also to tell me, hey, goofball, like you need to think about this. You don't say it that way, but you're very clear in helping me in towards achieving the outcome that I'm seeking, even when I don't really want to do it. And so that takes a depth of just real, true, authentic humanness, which means I think your answer to the question is going to be phenomenal. And so here is the question: what is the promise you are intended to be, Mohit?
That is a great question. It sounds like you just want to know my core promise as a person and as an entrepreneur, what people can count me on for, basically. So, yeah, I guess I can say that I promise that I intend to be someone who keeps helping people who fail to understand how important marketing is. And in the
Mm.
most genuine possible way, in the most transparent possible way. I want to provide the clarity that they don't understand. I want to provide the intelligence that they actually want on their side. I'm not here just to sell marketing services. I mean, you go on your Facebook groups, you go on LinkedIn, you'll find thousands of people. Thousands is a small word, I should say. Hundreds of thousands
Right.
of people promoting their marketing services, and I don't want to be them. To me, selling marketing services not a priority. I want to be a partner with you for your business that you can trust to simplify the noise and create strategies that
Mm.
actually move the needle. Because for me, the promise is consistency, whether it is with the clients or with my team or even for myself. I want to be the person who shows up, keeps it simple, delivers the results without overcomplicating things. And that's what I stand for. That's the standard I want to hold myself to, basically. Yeah.
Oh, that's and I'm a testament that you have, and you nailed it. Like you have helped me filter through the noise because like I spend so much time learning about like, oh, I could do this and what about this, I should do all the things that I could do, and you're like, nope, let's do this. I'm like, okay.
Pe-
Good, done.
People from my field and coming from my background, just so you know, they have to stand for themselves a lot. And it's an integrity that we need to hold. Like my work needs to hold a lot of integrity so that I can actually stand out.
Yeah.
People can hire anyone, their friends, their family. And coming from the background that I personally have, integrity is the best thing I can stand for, because marketing is full of buzzwords and over promises, and people can just oversell you for thousands of dollars. They can loot you technically. I should actually use the word loot you for
Loot.
thousands of
Yes.
dollars. And just because they know you and they are pretending to be the experts in their industry. Whereas I want myself and I
Mm.
want Adaptimize to stand for results that are real and measurable and lasting.
Yeah.
And I want Adaptimize to be like the idea of integrity that is being delivered to the
Mm.
customer. And
I do
At
know.
the end of the day, my company's name, when I was thinking about it, there were two words that actually I combined. I don't know if I have mentioned it to you before or not.
I don't remember. Tell me.
So the company name is Adaptimize. It comes from two words, adapt and optimize. And that's my mantra.
Ah, that's right. Yeah. So you're having to adapt to me and optimize me.
The message is keep
Oh man.
adapting and keep optimizing. Do not stop. That's the message.
I love it. Well, we're definitely going to do that, Mr. Mohit. Did
Okay.
you have fun?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It was spot on. It was 10 on 10.
I like it. Thank you for sticking it out all the way to the end. I know you got a whole lot of stuff going on. And in appreciation for the gift of time that you have given this episode, I want to offer you a free PDF of my book, Becoming the Promise You're Intended to Be. The link for that bad boy is down in the show notes. Hit it. You don't even have to give me your email address. There's a link in there. You just click that button and you can download the PDF. And if you share it with somebody that you know who might feel stuck or be caught up in self-destructive behaviors, that would be the ultimate. You sharing that increases the likelihood that it's going to help one more person. And if it does help one more person, then you're contributing to me becoming the promise I am intended to be. Be kind to yourself, be cool, and we'll talk at you next time. Thank you for sticking it out all the way to the end. I know you got a whole lot of stuff going on. And in appreciation for the gift of time that you have given this episode, I want to offer you a free PDF of my book, Becoming the Promise You're Intended to Be. The link for that bad boy is down in the show notes. Hit it. You don't even have to give me your email address. There's a link in there. You just click that button and you can download the PDF. And if you share it with somebody that you know who might feel stuck or be caught up in self-destructive behaviors, that would be the ultimate. You sharing that increases the likelihood that it's going to help one more person. And if it does help one more person, then you're contributing to me becoming the promise I am intended to be. Be kind to yourself, be cool, and we'll talk at you next time. Peace.